like, share, and subscribe whenever you enter into the live. And I'm hoping that you're liking my content. I am trying it with this content. I don't know. I'm just doing something different. This is called survival. And this is called survival because I've been looking at this thing for quite some time now. And now the Most High God wished for me to say something about it. First, he give me a pretext. Then he give me an insight. Then he calls it to manifest, or shall I say, once I have brought it into focus, then I cause it to manifest. And I don't want that to manifest, but it is going to manifest because it's a high ranking vision. And that is the reason why it's called survival. Many people say they know how to survive or they can survive various storms, channels, obstacles, even wars, I'm assuming. I don't know. I know one thing for sure what I have been looking at, you will want to be prepared for. You will want to be getting yourself prepared for this because this thing is getting ready to happen, whether you want it to happen or not. It is the ultimate. Uh, um, it is the ultimate slavery of the mind, the body, and I will say the heart that one could do to someone, such a disarranged trick, if you will. Why all things are moving in digital currency, but by the powers of but by the hands of the powers that be, they're in control of all that, and at the same time, coming up with all these agendas from the Agenda 21 that was placed on a halt and a hold, and now Agenda 21 is beginning to surface all over again. And all these programs that are stopping the food stamps getting cut, Medicare getting cut, the SSI getting cut, the Social Security getting cut, human services getting cut, IHSS for the ones with special needs that needs these program services, and nursing homes and abroad are getting cut. And this is things, and why I don't know why when they do things, they do it all over the world. It ain't just in America; they do it all over the world, and so they're all being done at the same time. But let's get back to the survival. Yes, I do this thing with my hands. I really do, and these hands be doing some weird things too, that God be making me do with these hands. I don't know what it's for, but He do. And so yes, 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 the survival part of it. This survival thing that I've been looking at is so deceptive and it's so hideous. It is the type of it's the type of survival that makes your skin crawl, and but at the same time your skin is crawling, you still trying to figure out when does it end, because it's just a deep, deep hurt of a an ongoing punishment, but the punishment is not seen, but the punishment is there. The punishment is not made known at the time, but you know that the punishment is known. It's kind of cycles of that sort of thing. And at the same time, it's so hideous to where the skin is crawling, but at the same time, the skin is crawling. The skin don't want to crawl because of the stillness from the sickness of the disturbance of from which it is moving from. The under surface from a sick cycle of defoulness. And hi, oh my goodness, I got people on here. My goodness, hi, hi. Hello. And I ain't even got no glasses. I wouldn't even expected anyone to be on here. But hello, hello. But yes, and at the same time, you know, it's letting you know that you now need to prepare yourself for survival. Are you going to wait until it's too late to prepare yourself? I speak of these things today, and I'm speaking of them as if they were, even though they are not, but they are very soon and near to us all. Now it is time to start putting back because this can start next week, it can start next month, it can start the month after next. Start putting back so that if when it do, and people need to stop trying to save things that's not worth saving because we're doing digital currency now. If you're trying to save $80, well, let's say to $500 or $600 worth of food, the first thing that happens in any disaster, the grid goes. What are you going to do with a bunch of meat? What are you going to do with a bunch of meat? Non perishables, I can see, but meat, come on, no. There, you can't do anything with meat. Nothing at all but let it run or try to cook it all up in one day. You certainly can't eat it all in one day. So don't even waste your time with that. Make sure that you're putting back like on your napkins, on your wipes, your toilet paper if you can, your water. The water is going to really be an essence. I seen the ground so dry and so crackety to where you could tell that there wasn't water for miles and miles and miles and miles. And we have to have water, you know what I'm saying? So at every cost, and when it's necessary, put back as much water as you possibly can. And not only just put back your water, put back your non perishables. The non perishables that can go in something similar to a, not saying a paint bucket, but similar to a paint bucket that can keep things for a very long time, like your beans, your rice. You know what I'm saying? Um, Let me see, beans, rice, and those are the only things that I know that really keeps good. Spaghetti, that keeps good too if you preserve it right. And then making sure that you do have all those non-perishables that you like, because believe me, they're ramping up. They're ramping up the stage for something. And every time they ramp something up, it's a huge disaster that could have been prevented, or could have really, the disaster could have turned out to been and saved a lot of people's lives if they had to put back something, or if they had invested at that moment for what it is that they need to be investing in. Hello, hello, hi. I can't call your name. I can't even see. Um, Hi, oh, hi, beautiful to me. Thank you. Yes, yes, but yeah, I've been looking at this. I'll say for the last year, the Lord has been showing this to me, and now as it's getting closer and closer, and with all the rhetoric of all these program services that I know for a fact through siblings that work in different places and Congress and the House of Representative and places like that, these programs that are getting ready to get cut, as people are right now getting ready to go to bat, the hosting assemblies and rallies and trying to push this. It's not going to get pushed back. By the time June the 15th get here, it's going to be giving Donald Trump great pleasure for some of these things to be cut. Why? Why would he want to mess with the poor people program services like that? Is demonic. That's all I can say. It's demonic. When you are, anytime you are stereotyping and preying upon the poor, it's something that's terribly wrong with you. Now, I know for a fact Donald Trump was always a man of God, and he always utilized every day in church. Now, I don't know what happened to Donald Trump, Well, something has certainly changed about him now, and I just don't know what it is. But that's just like all great men and women, especially spiritual people that gets into doing spiritual things and finding themselves connected to other things that they should not be involved in. And the reason why you should not be involved in these things, you open up doorways and you open up portals and allow these things to come in and attack the masses of people that has nothing to do with any of the stuff that you was inquirious about from the beginning. And so now there you have it. And I think the chief of Navajo said it best yesterday when he said some of the things that they try not to teach and try not to mention are these wicked, evil things that can, if gotten into the wrong hand, can cause very great major disaster. Now I don't know where this survival mode is coming from. But I can tell you one thing: it scratches every bump under its own hidden agenda, and it scratches every surface under its own hidden surface, and it's almost like the what I see is almost like the principalities know that at this very time that they are running all these agendas, that they got this under control, but they don't have anything under control. They would like for you to think that they have it under control. But every time they do something, you notice how they always seem to think they got something under control until they realize it's too great for them to bear. And then here come a shraggedy person like me or you that has to bail them out of their own deceptions. Yeah, they don't have anything under control, but you can have everything under control if you start preparing now. And I'm putting it out there like that because you do need to start making preparations. Now, for those of you who are very adequately into your business, well, you still need to prepare because they're going to be shaking a lot of things. When they are in control of something, you may have money today and they push a button and you may be dead broke tomorrow. So don't underestimate anything, anything at all. Treat it all as if you have nothing. That is how you want to move with this, as if you have nothing. And if you have a home, start planting you some vegetables in a garden. Maybe one of those you utilize because they're always spraying things too with the chemtrails. Utilize one of those greenhouses or build you a greenhouse or something like that and start gardening. And for those of you that do have a home, and if you like to live in apartments or something like that, you can use your tub for gardening too. Hopefully you got two bathrooms, but I'm just saying, if you can't do it any other kind of way. But yes, this thing is going to be really, really bad. It's 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 partially a demonic anyway, but it's going to be bad because we're talking about a full-fledged attack on Americans, and but in a very profound, in a sneaky way. It's always a sneaky way, isn't it? They make it look like it's really not an attack on Americans, but that's what it is, a full-fledged attack on America by Americans. How do Americans attack America? Very easily from within, and so you want to make sure that you're prepared. And the ones that is going to suffer the most are always going to be women and children, especially if they're like single or something like that. So look out for your communities. So start having little talks in the community. Find out what's the best route. Should we all get together and plant a garden and share it? And You know what I'm saying? The community needs to work together with this. And then to set your curfews and set your viewpoints and your getaway points and your roads, your maps, and all that stuff, because it's getting ready to get very, very ugly real soon. And as I looked above the horizon of what I see coming, I also can tell you this, that the time is at hand and the time is near. And I also see the stars falling to the ground and exploding. And as these stars are falling to the ground, exploding, I hear people screaming and yelling. And I see the military troops moving in and going door to door and pulling people up out of their homes, supposed to be bringing them into safety, but there is nowhere to go. There is no safety. There is nowhere to run, and there is nowhere to hide. So, where would your safety be? And I see these stars steady falling from the sky onto the earth and onto the ground. And each and every time it hit the ground, boom, it blows, boom. And then you're hearing people screaming because they ended up getting caught up from one of the stars falling on them or whatever the case may have been. And as this continued to last for at least 2 months, this goes on for 2 months. And then after it stops, it is quiet for a good 3 months. But it's a still quietness. It's a hesitant quietness. It's a eerie quietness. It's a scary quietness. It's people wanting to move but scared to move. Quietness. It's you could move and go out and scout around and see what you can find, but because you allow fear to set in, you're just standing there or just sitting there and don't that kind of quietness from going through that turmoil. And so as I see this going on, then I start seeing people talking about, you know, missing people, people missing. People were standing by them, and one person there and another person's gone, and all of that stuff being called up by the rapture. I guess that's what that is, if that's what you believe. But I don't think that was anything to do with a rapture or anything like that. I think that these people, somebody was standing there and another person wasn't standing there. And I don't know. I don't want to get all into that to even make it seem like it was a rapture. It could have been a demonic thing with that, because the whole thing is about demonic. It's about the demonic entities. It's about the demonic agenda. It's about enslaved driving the mind, the spirit, the body, and the flesh into these so devout situations that's so hideous and so sick, to where one just would just want to give themselves up anyway. But I pray that you would never give yourself up so easily, and never give up who you are so easily. You stand and fight to the duel. Stand and fight until you can't fight anymore, because if you ever should stop fighting, you already know that they got you. So you have no other choice but to continue to fight. And I pray for your strength, and I pray for your fight, and I pray for you. And I pray that you get stronger and stronger each and every time you have to fight. But I'm telling you to prepare for this day, because the day is coming soon. We are at hand for something so hideous and so bad. And it is going to be a great survival for those who prepare now, start preparing now. But now, if you don't start preparing, you know, if you don't start preparing and start doing something that's going to help you as they continue to push these Agenda 21s, that went in dormant. What was that? 8 years ago. Now they're back. Every time they do something, it always is going dormant, and then all of a sudden it comes back. That's just like the agenda with the what are they? Let me see. What is it called? The Living Dead. They had it all on TV. They even did drills on the Living Dead and this and that. Oh, believe me, they have some agendas like that for you too. So devout, you might be seeing creatures walking around with their booty in the front and they butt in the back and all that stuff. Walking on their knuckles. Please prepare yourself for any and everything. This is what I'm saying to you. And if you have your door closed, what would you be opening it for? It doesn't matter if it's a child out there, if it's a woman out there, if it's a man out there. Why would you be opening your door? Be prepared and be smart and wise about it. How they try to take the guns and stuff. You do want to have yourself armed because if something come to your door and it's looking pretty much like death, it's going to take a lot to light it up like a Christmas tree to get it away from your door. Be prepared. That's what I'm saying. Be prepared. And at the same time that you're being prepared, pray, meditate, and let the Most High God give you the insight that you need to continue to fight and continue to survive. And then, make sure that you cover your bases with your non perishables, your water, uh, I guess your tissues and stuff like that. The meats, I can't really see somebody trying to hold on to meats because meats are going to spoil, but your non-perishables, they don't go bad that fast. You can get at least a good 3 to 5 year life expansion out of non-perishables, and that's how you want to put them away, that way. And so I I hope that this will make some type of good to some of you in prepping, but you do need to start prepping. And for those of you for the state and I have family members that work for the state and stuff like that, and it's an attack on state workers simply because when they sent the paperwork around wanting to know what they did all day and they didn't respond to it, I guess somebody got an attitude. I'm so sick of these attitudes. We are the ones that have to pay the consequences because somebody feels like you should have been answering a question or should be punished because you're not doing what they want you to do. Where do all this madness start and when do it end? You know what I'm saying? When do it end? Because I'm tired of it. I was in a hospital for 15 days. I was in there for 10 days for being really extremely sick. And then another 5 days where I almost rehabilitated myself. And so now, with that being done and said, I feel like I have rehabilitated myself. Not to mention the fact that I lost everything that I have, everything that I own is gone now, simply because I ended up in the hospital and was rejected for even coming back to the apartment where I left in an ambulance. The ambulance had to take me back to the apartment, but they didn't want me there. But they were moving their stuff out of the apartment, but did not allow me and my sister to grab. Well, I couldn't have grabbed anything anyway, because I still can't hardly walk. I'm getting around, but barely, barely getting around. I can barely walk. That's how sick I was. And so, these evil things and evil times, be very vigilant and be very careful. And because you can be watching me now and could be minding your business tomorrow and doing something, and all of a sudden, here comes some hideous, crazy stuff from out of this world. Let's put it that way. Out from this world. There's not very much in this world that takes anybody's eyes. There's always the stuff that's not from this world that takes your eyes and make your heart drop, and you know what I'm saying, because you're not used to seeing these things, and some of these species are just made that way, but you don't know they made that way if you're looking at somebody looking all hideous and one big eye on their face and another eye on their finger. Oh, come on now. No, you would know at all. It's looking at somebody looking like that. Of course not. But yes, do be vigilant and do be careful out there, because this is warning before destruction that the Most High God has now placed it on my heart to bring to you guys. But now I have been looking at this for, I would say, almost over a year now. I've been looking at this, and now that they're trying to move toward cutting all these program services and stuff, God said, now you need to let the people know. They need to start preparing. And then, as they are preparing to be able to survive, then, we are moving into these last days. And these last days are going to be even worse than what they call themselves doing. So no, they don't have anything under control. They just think they do right now. After that, then it ain't gonna matter what they got under control and don't have under control, because then God's word never comes back void. It is what it is, and hopefully it doesn't get to that point. I mean, maybe the little survival thing will pass, and maybe we can all still try to come up with a logical solution to rebuilding the world and the people in it, or some. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know, because some people, they don't. There's so many people that don't want that, and then there's so many people that do want that, and so when you got split people that this is just like the Most High God. Some people, okay, that's the Most High God, or divine, or universe, or whoever, whatever you want to call him, depending on of the what sector of the world you're living in or from, or whatever the case may be, because God is the God of many nations and of many tongues, and he do talk. He definitely is not silent. He is a living God and not a dead God. And he's also a jealous God. And if you think he is not jealous, mess with the chosen ones and see how jealous he is. With that being said, and I'm gonna get off of here because my head is killing me. Gee, I only came up here because the Most High God wanted me to tell you guys to start preparing for survival. And I'm hoping that all of you are listening, and I'm hoping that you're taking it in. And I'm pretty sure if you start early enough, you'll figure out very positive ways of being creative with surviving. And God bless you all. Peace, love, and light to each and every one of you. And I will talk to you soon. That's all I have for now. Bye.